Somebody's not muted.
Josh, turn that shit down.
Alright, anyway. What's going on, guys? This is Restless Corpse. Jesus, fuck. This is VirtualBromance Live. This is episode 9.
Is it episode 9?
It is episode 9 this time. We won't have to make any kind of apology or anything like that. But, yeah, why don't you tell them who we're here with tonight?
Look, actually, how about I tell them that I'm Providence, actually.
No, it doesn't matter.
And this is
Go ahead.
legitimately VirtualBromance Live. We've got two amazing special people. Not like, special people. So two amazing people on the show.
Wow.
We've got our good friend Brian DarkNES of the Causticles, and recently of AmPsych. And he's here to do some awesome things. And we've got, I'm not saying, what is it, Folterte?
I think so. Folterte.
Wow, it's Folterte. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi. / urban neurosis.
Yes.
Yeah. From on a direct satellite feed from Australia.
I think there's this big fat pipe that goes under the ocean, but cool. We'll call it a satellite.
Right. So we have her here. She's got some things that are also awesome that she's going to talk about.
Keep going.
So yeah. So I guess maybe we should for the viewers at home. Why don't you guys, let's start with Brian. Tell us a little bit about yourself in terms of your gaming experiences and knowledge.
I'm very much a Nintendo Entertainment System guy. I'm very into that whole retro gaming thing. To me, it's not like retro gaming; it's just gaming because that's kind of what I do. Although I have gotten into some recent titles, and maybe we'll talk about them here on VirtualBromance. Thank you very much for having me.
Hey Tony, welcome to the chat, bro. All right, Brian. As we already said, you're awesome. We love you.
Back at you guys.
Jam Pants, why don't you tell them about you?
I've been a PC gamer since about the age of 5. Still an avid PC gamer. Though we do have a Wii, a 360, and a PS3 in the house, and we do a reasonable amount of more casual gaming on said consoles. I've also got a pretty rad red PSP. It's my introduction to handheld.
Yeah, I bet somebody really awesome got that for you.
I think someone really great bought that for me. Yeah. It might have been Providence. I collect red controllers and stuff. Because
That's cool. That's pretty good.
That's what I do. PC gamer.
All right. Well, so I guess how do you?
Well, first of all, I want to say that Gemma's going to tell us a little bit about PAX Australia in a little bit.
Cool.
Oh my god.
Which I'm pretty excited about.
Mm-hmm.
As for us, this is the first show with the new layout. We're in the new place. As you can see, the wall's bare because we haven't found anything cool to put up there.
I mean, we have a really, really great Metal Gear Solid 4 Raiden poster that I got from a friend who worked for a games retailer, a guy who was an unnameable games retailer, and it's a guy who was actually on our E3 episode. Wow, I'm getting a child yet. Josh, take care of that for me, please.
Hold on.
Already? So soon?
Josh. Yeah. What did I say?
You were talking about the poster.
Oh, yeah. So he was on the Slater, who was on our E3 episode, actually gave me this poster, which is fantastic. It's huge. It was in store decor. We also have some other stuff that we're considering. I mean, I have a really, really nice Zone of the Enders poster that could go on the wall as well. But I don't know. I mean, we really got to find something awesome and commit to it.
Right, or several awesome things, which I'm a fan of.
Yeah.
All right, so first of all, we're going to go ahead and let everybody know what we've been doing this week. And for us, it's less than, fabulous, I guess. We just moved into the place. We've been dealing with that, pretty much this whole week. It's really hot. I just want to throw that out there. We don't have any kind of AC, but we're going to power through it.
Yeah, I mean, we even we're using this snowball mic, which basically
for the first time for the show.
Yeah, which picks up everything. So we even had to turn off the fan that was blowing on us. So we're basically like in this corner.
Sacrifices we make.
We are literally in the corner of this room, with all of sequestered away from all of the windows, without a fan on us. So if we start looking like glazed donuts, that's why. So, yeah, I mean, David, what do you got in mind for how do you want to do it?
Well, I've been, most of our viewers know that I have the 365 games thing going on, so I've been playing a game every day, but they haven't been new games, so it's not really. I mean, just watch the videos. It's not really that interesting to talk about. But as for like video gaming this week and the show and whatnot, we've just been testing and trying to set up things and make the like the new layout that we've got going on pretty awesome. Been fighting with a cable company for a while.
Yeah.
Which hopefully that doesn't screw us over this time. But it looks like we're doing okay, so that's good.
You mentioned it now, so it's gonna fuck up. But well, okay. Yeah, we haven't been playing.
Brian,
a
you're
whole lot.
freaking out one of our regulars, by the way. I don't know if you intend to stay that way the whole show, but yeah.
I'm on a delay, so I can't see what I just did.
Just generally, like the mask and the base. You're scary people.
Yeah.
I'm a very evil individual.
He is the knight, bro.
Yeah.
Word.
Wow.
All right,
Continue.
but
Okay.
Yeah, so like we played the other day we played a bunch of Wii stuff.
Right.
We have Michelle here helping put the bed
Right,
together.
we played Super Metroid a lot.
And
we played Super Mario 3 a lot.
played all the way through. I played a little bit. I mostly drank beer and watched you and Michelle like destroy Super Mario 3 without any warp whistles up to World 5. I think you guys were at.
Yeah.
Well, she left, and then you carried the torch alone.
As I am wont to do.
And then it was like, screw this, we're not doing this anymore. So we played some Super Metroid, and killed Kraid, and got the Vera
Nice.
suit, which is always it's one of the best games ever.
Right.
But yeah, other than that, I mean, we haven't really done a whole lot. I mean, we didn't have internet for a couple days, and
Which kind of really threw like a wrench in my 365 thing, but it's all right. You have to take a break once in a while. It's a year thing, so. But the open beta for Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn is in a couple weeks, and I'm super excited about that. I've been in a lot of the other beta phases, and the game is actually really fucking good. I know I've already talked about this on an earlier show, but I'm pretty fucking excited about the game. I'm gonna try to get this guy to play with me.
yes, like Quado is under David's shirt.
Yeah.
Quaid.
So
Is it like a swords and shieldsy kind of a thing, or are they like using space lasers in this one?
well, see that's funny. It kind of is, but there's a faction in the game that uses Magitech and gun blades, and their airships look like spaceships. I mean, it's pretty cool. They're like technologically advanced, and they were in the older version as well. But I didn't really play a whole lot of that. I didn't like it. But the version now is pretty fucking spectacular.
Word.
Yeah. And they're adding all kinds of jobs and things like that to it. So
Jobs.
I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, like you have to go be a bartender,
job.
serve drinks
Final
to
Fantasy
people.
Tactics.
Maybe you're gonna go you're gonna get like a middle management job, something corporate.
Well, I did suggest. I did suggest on the beta
The job
test
you've been
forum-
doing for 8 years, probably.
Yeah.
On the beta test forums, I did suggest that they added a janitor job, which would run around and pick up all the empty bottles from people using potions.
Well, you remember in Final Fantasy VII though, when Sid could get a mop?
Yeah, that was good shit,
Yeah.
man.
And
Didn't he get like an oar from a boat as well?
That's not very janitorial.
No, but it was pretty
Right.
like job related.
Job.
what job?
A boatman,
Boatman?
like the guy in the bottom of the castle that in Symphony of the Night. The oarsman, dude.
Right, I got you.
That was his job. He worked full time being the oarsman.
John.
Those motherfuckers, they needed to get across that castle all the time. Or that lake, at least.
And I bet he's super fucking annoyed, too. Like, he just wants to sit there and play his PSP.
Right. Every time he took that boat across that lake, he was like, dude, I'm just going to straight chill now. And then, wham, someone else was like, look, I'm wearing these boots that discreetly increase height. You need to take me across the lake again.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Why would Dracula keep a dude in his employ on his, like, just to ferry heroes across his underground lake?
Right.
Well, that's because Dracula, I think, is arrogant enough that he was like, you know what, dude, let's accommodate. Not completely accommodate, not like keep the door open, but like, let's accommodate anybody who wants in to try to fuck with me.
Well, look,
Right.
sometimes Dracula gets hungry.
I mean, and the guy will be shitty about it. Like, if you fall off, I'm not going to stop for you or anything.
Right, you gotta,
he's
like,
an
fucking
asshole.
haul ass
Once
out
I've
of the
started
water.
on that horizontal vector, you cannot unring that bell.
Right. Can you really unring my bell? I don't, I'm sorry, I'll just stop. I don't...
Also, because it's coming out in a couple days now, Shadowrun returns. Super excited about it. I know that at our show last week, was it last week?
Yeah, the one that we talked about on our live show last week.
Yeah, Brian and I kind of geeked out about Shadowrun a little bit.
Word.
So I'm super excited about that, and I will be putting up videos and gameplay and whatnot of that. Is there anything coming out that you guys are like excited about?
Well,
yeah.
the Metal Gear Legacy collection came out, and I'm broke, so I didn't buy it.
I was wondering about that. I thought maybe you ordered it and it just wasn't there. Gemma, it sounded like you were...
I'm super psyched about one in particular, and that is Payday 2.
Oh, Payday 2
Is
is
out.
Totally
Is out
forgot.
very,
yeah,
very
that's
soon.
like second week of August, right?
Right. Second week of August, also my birthday. So happy birthday, me, Payday 2. I'm so excited. Really, really fantastic game for anyone who hasn't played the first one. It's a really great time. Hilarious, challenging, mostly just funny.
Yeah, and there's quite a few changes in it too.
I know that they're talking more about focusing on heists.
Right. And
Can I
like
cut in for a second? I'm sorry, I've just never heard of the Payday series. Maybe for those of us that don't even know, is it like iOS or Xbox 360? What is it?
it's PC and PS3.
It's a PC game.
Actually, but Payday 2 is getting multi-platform release. It is going to be on
Okay.
Xbox.
Yeah, it's an FPS like heist game. You play criminals
cool.
that steal things.
a four-man
So, you
team.
Rob banks, go in and bust out other criminals.
Dude,
Great.
there's
Steal
like the
stuff.
diamond heist one. And,
Yeah.
It's
Awesome.
pretty great. Yeah.
It's actually like shit tons of fun.
All right.
It's sometimes really hard.
Get down on the ground.
Yeah. It's all.
God damn you,
I always
Hoxton,
play
what are you
Dallas.
doing now?
And then there's
Okay.
that
Until one of us
stupid
shoots her.
fucking chick
Yeah.
that keeps.
I wish I was recording this. That's my new ringtone.
We are recording it. It'll be on YouTube, so you can...
Yes!
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome!
We're gonna fucking take
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
It's like
Fantastic.
John squealing like Deliverance.
I'm sure that John would do that just for you, Brian. He kind of...
You know what,
so-
Brian? I'll make an appointment over at Dan's house and get in the studio and record it proper style.
All right. Well, if you're ever in Chicago,
Be like, Dan, it's really important. I need to get some studio time. I only need like 5 minutes. I just need to scream a few times.
Gemma, is there anything else that you're super excited about? It's coming up recent or soon?
Only things that I can reveal in my talk about PAX
All right,
with
good call. Good call.
All right.
content for something. Yeah.
All right. Brian? I mean, I know
Already-
not a
you
whole
already
lot
brought
of
up,
retro games are coming out.
But I
retro
also know
games that are
that
coming out.
you've been playing a
not
shit
the-
ton of Injustice, though. I know that.
What is that? I've never heard of it.
Injustice? Shut up.
For anybody watching, I'm in a band with John and David now, and basically annoyed the shit out of these guys yapping nonstop about Injustice: Gods Among Us for the 360. I'm a huge comic book dork, and this game's really great. And they were going to announce the new DLC that weekend, because there was the weekend of what was it at video game convention that was we just had it? I'm blanking on it. Evolve.
E3.
Yes, and it's Martian Manhunter and Jon Stewart, the Black Green Lantern. Well, there's two now. The new Green Lantern's black.
Do they have the gay Green Lantern in there?
Is there a gay Green Lantern?
Yeah.
What's that?
He's the original Green Lantern, from like the 30s or whatever.
Alan Scott?
Yeah, and they made him gay in the New 52, and his which I think was a really, really offensive move, being that his weakness is wood.
Oof. I'm not even gonna. I'm not.
It's.
All right, so you've been playing a shit ton of Injustice. That's cool.
Injustice. Also, the handheld, the mobile game for Injustice is quite good. Very similar, actually, maybe calculated to the Marvel handheld game. Marvel seems to have about 10 words in their vocabulary. They just put in different orders, like Ultimate, Alliance, Mega. I forget if this is Avengers Super Mega Alliance or
Uncanny, Astonishing.
Yeah, whatever it is, it's good. You can be a Hulk or Cap, and it's a fighting game. And I don't know if you know the band Def Con, industrial band, but he did all the sound for it.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Pretty cool.
The guitar player from Cruciform Injection, if you remember them.
Yeah. They're pretty good.
He's the Gothsicles now.
I don't know if I've ever told you this story, Brian, but I actually purchased, I think it was 3 Cruciform Injection CDs at, I think the last year that Gen Con was in Milwaukee.
Dude, that's where I met him.
Yeah, I was walking through, and the people working the booth, I don't even know who the fuck it was. It wasn't Micah. I was wearing my ChemLab shirt, and they were like, "Hey, come over here, man. You need to listen to this. You'll really, really like it." And I'm like, "Yeah, all right, whatever." And they pulled out their Discman, because that's when that's the era.
Sure.
And they gave me their headphones, not earbuds, and I put them on. And I checked out this Cruciform Injection stuff, and I was like, "Word, I'll totally buy these 3 CDs."
I'm just gonna order a beer.
Oh, you're sending a beer order?
Yeah.
Only one of them was good.
You're ordering beer from Josh. I'm like, you
Josh.
can order beer?
Josh, you're watching the show. Bring David a beer.
And here's a retro gaming thing. I recently got back.
It's like takes up the entire camera.
The whole bottle is like right in front of the camera.
Nice.
Sorry,
I approve.
The delay on the Twitch TV was annoying me. I went back to Skype. But I want to look at you, so I'll just see that. Did you guys, like, way back in the day do BBS games?
I didn't.
Wait, what? I'm sorry. I was collecting my beer.
I recently got back into a majorly old video game called Legend of the Red Dragon. This is in the dial-up modem days from when I was...
I think you got me on this one.
Knee-high to a grasshopper, but it's back. It's a very beloved text adventure kind of game.
Nick's
one of the
in
first
chat, and he says that he played it.
MMORPGs, if you will. Pardon?
Nick Bot's in the chat, and he says he played it.
Oh, I can't see.
Go Bot.
But big ups to Nick. Dude, I'm on Nuclear
Hey,
Lore
Jared's here.
is
What
the
up,
name
Jared?
of it. Pardon?
Oh, our guy Jared is here, too, yeah.
Another bro.
So, to wrap it up, for me, it's been Injustice handheld, and Legend of the Red Dragon.
Have you been reading the Injustice comics that go along with the game?
No, I'm reading, I'm gonna go back to fucking the other thing so I can see what I'm doing. Sorry, I'm a little drunk. Justice League of America, it's totally awesome.
Nice.
I don't know if I want to pick up the comics because, like, it just seems too tiny.
Yeah. I heard they're good, but then again, I heard that from Josh.
Okay, well, Josh is cool. I like Josh. And shout out. I think I'm DarkNES _ Gothsicles. If anybody plays Ascension on the phone, the iPhone. My friend Thomas just got me into it. I can't put it down.
I wish I had time for iOS games.
Oh, and Elder Sign. Ooh, Elder Sign.
Yeah.
Elder Sign is pretty sweet. I'm a fan.
Do you have the phone in?
No, I when I go to 42, Paul has it on his tablet.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Did you want me to get it on my
Don't
tablet?
pick it up for your
That would
phone.
be pretty sweet.
It'll ruin your life.
We could play it together and make some videos.
I have a tablet.
Nick is also a giant fan of Elder Sign, and the fact he's actually kind of addicted to it.
Okay.
Right on. Addictions are cool.
Who is he on chat here? Lord Beavis?
No, Ven Pig.
Okay. All right. Big ups to Nick once again. The new King in Yellow expansion that they put out is great. I've talked for way too long. I'm done.
All right, Jammer.
All right.
Jammer, what are you playing? What anything?
What am I
You've
playing?
Been, you've been kind of nuts with PAX stuff, so you really haven't had time, right?
The last week leading up to PAX with the Black Annex team has been a little bit insane. So mostly I've been playing Borderlands 2, Civilization 5, Brave New World, and trying desperately to finish Theme Hospital, which is really, really hard. And I'm on the last level of it at the moment and trying not to cheat. And it's challenging. I don't know how I did it as a 12-year-old, but I did.
VirtualBromance never cheat.
I don't believe you. Never ever.
Why would you not believe us?
I don't know.
What do you qualify as cheating? I don't know.
Up, down, left, right.
Yes, all of
I'll do
it.
Can
that.
you believe that some fucking band wrote a song about that? What's wrong with people?
Just, I think they're called AmPsych.
Yeah, those guys.
I'm sure that in the Steam sales, I've picked up a collection of new stuff to play, i.e. Baldur's Gate, what else? Stuff, things.
Now, knowing
that I'll
when
get
you say
to.
Baldur's Gate, you mean like the PC version, right? Because the console version is horrible.
Tony, don't
the
complain to me
Baldur's
about
Gate
not having high
Enhanced
life in
Edition from
Seattle.
the
You
Steam
fucking
sale.
chose to go there.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I haven't been gaming a whole lot. Hopefully I'll get some time. I've got like one down weekend next weekend before the rest of August is completely mental. So It's going to be interesting.
I'm
Yeah.
really
I
sorry.
want to talk about PAX. I'm like,
All right.
Well, we'll get to that. Trust me.
Okay.
Because I really want to hear about. I hope you're going to talk about Black Annex.
I am going to talk about Black Annex.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
who wants to go first? I guess is really the question.
Well, Brian, how much do you want to hear about PAX?
Quite a bit.
All right.
I'm really sorry. I don't do this a lot. If I can't, are people talking in the chat room?
Yes.
Yes, I am.
What
How
browser
do
are
I
you using?
See that? I can only see me typing like test 3 and shit.
What browser are you using?
Firefox.
Chrome is like where it's at.
Right, but Firefox still works for it.
I actually
does
have
still
stopped
work.
using
If there's a
Firefox.
button to pop out the chat and make it its own window,
I can usually not get that to load and it screws with my whole setup, but by all means.
I'll keep
try
trying.
that.
I'm sorry to take up your time.
No, it's
to
all
answer your
good.
question though, I'm rather curious about PAX Australia.
yeah.
So, Gemma, why don't you go ahead?
Why don't you
kick it
take the
off?
reins and tell us all about it?
Wow. Okay. So PAX is the Penny Arcade Expo. It runs east and west, I think, in the States. It's a big deal over there. Has been for a while. We don't have here in Australia. We don't have big gaming conventions like that. We have tech expos and that sort of thing. We've got a lot of pop culture conventions, Supernova, Armageddon, Manifest is an anime one. But this is the first time that we've had the Penny Arcade Expo here. And fortunately, it was hosted down the road from where I live in Melbourne.
Was it at Showgrounds or what?
It was at the Showgrounds, yeah. So really, really
I
close.
didn't know where they do shit.
Yeah, you do. So that was really great. Tickets sold out really, really quickly. And I was, you have your concerns, like Omicron last year was way over capacity and just a nightmare. PAX was definitely not over capacity. I spent most of the 3 days in the expo hall with the Black Annex crew, which is Lance McDonald and his wife Stevie, with Stevie's brother Brad, and with Dave, who I work with as well, and running the booth there in the indie showcase. And I'll get to Black Annex, but the main issues, I suppose I'll start with issues and then go on to all the awesome. The choices that the exhibitors made in which halls or which auditorium rooms they were going to use in the showgrounds for panels was unfortunate, in that on the Friday you had to queue for more than an hour to get into anything.
Ew.
And I'm talking about geek parenting. I'm talking about
They had a geek parenting panel?
they had two. The Q&As, the opening and closing ceremonies, every single panel on the list, you had to queue for more than an hour. So I really had no intention of going to anything other than the two I went to, which is good because I really needed to be in the Black Annex stall for most of it. The first one I went to was the Indie Showcase, which was a collection of 6, I believe, maybe 5 indie developers from Australia who will bring out different games on different platforms, including Lance from Black Annex. And that was really, really, really great, talking about the challenges of building an indie game in a small studio or as a one-person team. A lot of people still work full-time. I know Lance has got kids and a wife and a full-time job on top of building a game from the ground up. And talking about the challenges with that. And despite a lot of them saying, it's a miserable experience, it's really hard to get funding, it's really hard to find time, they all still do it and they all still love it, and they produce some really amazing work. The guy from Antichamber, which is actually out, was on that panel as well. He was right next to us in the Indie Showcase, and he spent 3 hours basically all day, all night doing Antichamber, and it's a phenomenal title. So if you haven't checked it out, go look at that. The queues were crap. Aside from working in Black Annex and going to that one, on Saturday morning, I turned my alarm off and slept a little late, unfortunately, and got up, and it was a mad rush to get to something I'd been building really only for about 2 weeks, which was a black and silver Maya from Borderlands 2 costume to cosplay with my housemate Nick. With my housemate Nick and his friend Grunge and a couple of other guys who all dressed up for the part. So we did that. I got covered in blue paint. It was pouring with rain and freezing cold. It's the middle of winter here. All day, and so I had like one sleeve.
72?
Sorry, come on. We're in Melbourne. It was probably high 40s all day, maybe mid 50s.
Yeah, I love that weather.
But the rain doesn't help.
40s, I'm into it.
Wear a cool jacket. Yeah.
Well,
I can put on my scarf.
I really hope it's 115 when you come and visit in January. I hope that so much. So we did that. We jumped into a cab. The cab driver yelled at Nick for bringing weapons in the car. We had some Nerf guns and a Super Soaker that made a really amazing Hyperion rifle, all painted up. And we actually had to convince the cabbie that no, they weren't actual weapons. And furthermore, to take anything into PAX, even if it's a Nerf gun, you have to pull all the firing pins and stuff. They can't actually function in any way. Yeah. So once he got over that, we got down there, and my good friend Petey, who has featured in Space Marine Saturdays before with Providence and
Petey's super clutch.
Providence and Crash. He was really keen, also super keen for the Borderlands panel, the Gearbox panel. So we got there about 11:30. The panel was at 1:30. He went straight and got in the line that had already started 2 hours before. Managed to hold a place for his girlfriend because they capped the line at 11:45, which is just insane. A lot of people didn't get in that we're going to. And the seriously awesome part was they pulled all the cosplayers out of the line, pulled us to the front, gave us special seating. They talked about some really amazing things. I've got some screenshots on my phone that I'll pull up. They talked about some new content. I'm going to show you something, so please, brace yourselves.
Dude!
It's 11 new levels.
Badass! I'm into it.
Also, the community day. So they normally do a community day only starts with D, I think, Dallas.
Yeah,
They normally do a community day only in Dallas, but they're doing community day internationally. The community day, there's registration for it, what have you. The 11 more levels will be like a $5 in America, $15 in Australia.
Yeah, it's $4.99.
Add-on.
The last one was, yeah.
Yeah, so we continue to get absolutely screwed on that. Further to that, they're actually releasing heads and skins for Tiny Tina, the DLC, because they realized how much everybody loves Tiny Tina and loves skins and heads, which is really,
awesome.
really great. I'm just looking at this. So Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon's Keep heads and skins. They're coming within 2 or 3 weeks. The Ultimate Vault Hunter Upgrade Pack 2 Digistruct Pack Challenge, which is the 11 more levels that we've got here. And then the Headhunter Pack, which is TK Baha's Bloody Harvest, which is a real throwback to Dr. Ned's or Dr. Zed's Zombie Island.
Right.
In the art
Ned's.
and
Ned,
the
yeah,
pumpkins
Zed's
and the kind of foresty feel. It's really gorgeous. It's really exciting. That was probably my favorite DLC of the first game. Randy was.
Which is funny, being that you have like a crippling fear of zombies.
I do, but
favorite.
I built a bridge for one of my favorite games ever put together. It's really, really awesome. And so that's coming out soonish. And pricing will be announced closer to the date. No word on a second season pass. I don't have a list of who was on the panel with me. It was Randy and one of the writers and one of the marketing guys and a bunch of other people. It was all live streamed from the Gearbox page, and you can the video I'm sure will creep over the internet. They pulled all of the cosplayers out of the audience. We got to stand up front and be on the live stream. And pose for photos, all that stuff. And then something even more awesome happened because they were throwing T-shirts and sleeves and everything else into the crowd, like tattoo sleeves for tattoo sleeves for the sirens and stuff like that.
Tattooed slaves?
Not sleeves. I'm losing my voice. This is I don't even know
Jesus
what day.
Christ, they tattooed slaves.
I've been My life of PAX started on Tuesday. It's now Monday. So yeah, I'm not coping. But this happened, which is all of the cosplayers got given for nothing. The
$100
sold out.
$150.
I'm trying not to break this. The Ultimate Loot Hunter chests.
Sweet.
This one's Nick's. He got it all signed by the panel, and it comes with some pretty insane stuff. You've all seen what's in it, I'm sure, and gone, I should totally buy that. Certificates of authenticity. There's a pack of cards with codes, multi-platform codes for conference calls, B shields, infinity pistols, etc., etc.
Motherfuckers.
Are they tradable?
Yeah.
After you redeem the code?
No, they're a one-off. So this was I think it was like $150 here, the Ultimate Vault Hunter chest.
It was like $100.
It sold out really, really quickly. I snaffled, because mine's getting shipped to me because I only had so many there, I snaffled some of the newsprint.
Nice.
And got that signed, which has actually got stories and stuff in it. So if you do have one of these, don't throw that out. It's cool. Yeah, so that was amazingly exciting. We got to go up, the cosplayers got to go up and get stuff signed. Everybody else got to get stuff signed, but they pulled us out to do more photos and make and be on video talking about why we love Borderlands and why we love Gearbox and that sort of stuff that will be shown at PAX next year in the States, as well as I expect probably released up on the Gearbox site, which was really, really great. So our mugs will be more on the internet and all over the world, which is really, really cool. There was someone with a life-size claptrap. Sorry?
What? I'm sorry. I mean, I've never been to PAX. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No.
Do the Penny Arcade dudes do like a live streaming, like What's Up Australia thing, or?
They may have done. There was a Penny Arcade Q&A yesterday, I think. I got to meet Tycho. I've got a photo of me and Tycho.
Oh, so he was in Australia?
Yeah. Gabe and Tycho were here. Yeah.
Baller.
Yeah. Really exciting. Jerry's a great guy. Really, really sweet. Really patient. So that was really cool. So Randy Pitchard took my photo because I bothered to do like a Maya skin as opposed to the standard Maya. That was kind of awesome. I fangirled out
I'm looking
a bit.
at his pictures on Twitter and I'm not finding
Now,
it.
Gemma.
Yeah, no, I don't just put it up.
Speaking of Randy taking your picture,
yeah.
did you tell him that we called him out?
No, I think it was after she had met him that
It was
she found
after,
out
yeah.
that I shot my mouth off at him.
We called him out on a video, and we challenged him to play Aliens Colonial Marines with us on Ultimate Badass.
I would just tweet at him because Twitter seems to be where it's at, especially in the games industry at the moment. He's obviously really active on there and retweets a lot of stuff.
He's going to need to be active at his Xbox with a fucking Marine is what he's going to need to be.
Right. So I don't know. Maybe tweet at him persistently until he does play games with you. They also showed another short film. One of the questions was, are Krieg and the mech ever going to be in the opening video?
Man, that'd be awesome.
Because, well, the problem is all those discs have already been burnt. You can't just kind of patch that in. So that's why they did that amazing Krieg short that I completely
was one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
The Meat Bicycle Built for Two video, which is amazing.
Yeah, which is amazing, yeah. So they're actually working on a whole lot more of those. They went out to one of the local universities and had them make a bunch of shorts with really crazy constraints on, can't have voice acting, can't do this, can't do that.
Going to the textiles department, they started making shorts.
I need some shorts.
Short films. So expect to see more of that coming out of them. Overall, so yeah, the Gearbox panel was amazing. Overall, PAX for me was a really different experience. I go to a lot of the pop culture conventions here. I've been to Worldcon when it was here, which was 5 days of insanity, and Supernova when I can get there and I'm not in America at the time, and Armageddon and the rest. And what really threw me on Friday, the first day, was the difference in people. Pop culture conventions pull normal people as well as geeks and nerds. Friday was pretty much just all dudes and spotty ones. I was actually
de salchicha.
I was really surprised, and I mean I don't mean any of this negatively, but a lot is said about how as far as gaming is concerned, there's much more of a 50-50 split between girls and guys now, and that it's becoming more tolerant and everything else. Honestly, day one at PAX, that was not the case. It was all guys all the time. I know with PAX Prime they definitely have a no booth babes kind of rule. Which is,
really?
You can't just, you can't bring models in or things like that to dress scantily to promote your thing.
Well, that just sucks.
I think it's kind of
World
cool.
of Tanks guys who had the main booth in the expo hall actually had a bunch of models.
Thing?
Yeah, they actually had a bunch of models in. On the first day they were in like see-through stockings. The next 2 days they were in opaque black tights and still tight little red dresses. But yeah, it was, that to me wasn't cool, expecting there to not be booth babes. That was not so great. If you need to promote your brand however you're going to do it, sure, but I found it kind of unnecessary.
Especially since hot girls have nothing to do with tanks. I'm just throwing that out there.
It would be nice if hot girls had a lot to do with tanks.
Yeah, I suppose, but,
I really like tanks. I think hot girls should really like tanks and be involved in tanks.
What's tank girl?
I think hot girls and tank tops is usually
hot girls and tank tops. Yeah, I'm a fan.
Right. So that was unfortunate, but still really exciting. So the big stands in the expo hall were World of Tanks and League of Legends. And as loud and annoying and as swag YOLO as the League of Legends guys were, I have to give them props for creating the esports visas in America, or being responsible for the start of that. So professional gamers can now get into America on the same sort of visa as an NBA player or a soccer player
That is actually pretty cool.
or anything like that. You guys obviously missed that piece of news, but as much as I want nothing to do with League of Legends, as I'm sure it's cool, I'm sure it's a thing, I have to give them props for that. Absolutely. Sadly, League of Legends is responsible for Petey breaking his 5th metacarpal in his hand. He slipped because it was, as I said, it was really wet. It was crazy. He was the main PAX casualty. He completely busted really badly.
Oh man, I'll tell you,
sad.
This is all really amazing. I'm so thirsty. I wish I had another beer.
I wish I had another beer as well. I'm just throwing that out there.
If only there were some way that we could obtain beers.
Right.
No,
so I guess,
actually, there was one thing that I wanted to ask you about, though.
Yeah.
That we when we talked last night, you briefly touched on, but said that you wanted to elaborate more on later. Now, what was it, like a month ago?
Hold on.
We had what?
Oh, never mind. Continue.
A month or so ago, we had heard that. Thank you, sir. That Saints Row 4.
Ooh.
Had been kind of pulled out of the convention.
Saints Row 4 Saints Row 4 was refused classification in Australia because so they wouldn't even give it an R rating because of drug use and things like that.
Really?
And that happens a lot. Brian, I'm sure the guys will give you a rundown of what it's like on our side of the pond. As far as games are concerned, it's great that we now have an R18 rating for games, but that's only happened in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
It was, but it's been nerfed, it's been cut back, things have been renamed. Even certain things in Fallout.
Right. Well, what's funny about the way that they changed a lot of the names in Fallout was they made those changes, and they were changed across the board. Like every version had those things changed.
Right, so I don't
like
know if
morphine
it's changed
became
stuff
like
in the demo here.
Right.
I know a lot of people that got to go and play a little bit of Saints Row 4. The queue for that was only about 20 minutes. And Nick was really excited about all of the new weapons and that sort of stuff, mostly about the dubstep gun. So the dubstep gun was a big feature. My friends would come over and be like, "Hey, we just got here. What do we need to go see?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm stuck in the indie showcase, but go over to Saints Row and have a go with the dubstep gun because." Right. So that seemed to be really exciting for a lot of people. A lot of people. There were long lines for the Oculus Rift. There were at least 2 indies in the indie pavilion that had Oculus Rifts. One of them being The Wanderer is the game. It's an HD game. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called.
He's the type of guy that'll never settle down.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking the same fucking thing.
So those guys were in cosplay all day. 7:30 in the morning on Friday morning we got there, and one of the guys had tattoos on his face and leather pants.
I'm really sorry, Gemma.
Yeah, jump
I
in.
don't know what Oculus Rift is. Can you explain that to me?
Can I?
Dude,
no,
the Oculus
but
Rift,
these guys
man.
can.
The Oculus Rift is like a new virtual reality thing. That it's like a headset with a couple screens in it, and I've watched a couple videos, but they don't really show it all that well. But apparently it's amazing. There's a lot of games coming out now have Oculus Rift support. It's kind of like Track IR, things like that.
It's like a VR face.
Like Genshin stuff.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Right. Yeah.
It's like in that Aerosmith video where that was it Jason London or whatever has sex with Alicia Silverstone on a motorcycle.
Right.
And then at the end of the video, he's got a ChemLab poster on his wall.
Oh wow!
And listen,
oh my god!
Because Oculus Rift is getting so popular, it's only a matter of time before the Lawnmower Man shows up.
Jesus Christ!
Oh god.
Job, yeah.
Fucking Max Headroom.
Yeah, we're gonna need Pierce Brosnan to come in and save our asses, bro.
Right.
Well, I noticed scary things. On Sunday, there was definitely a slender man following me around, and he was at least 6'3", so that wasn't great.
Chris Dix is
he had like 9 arms.
He is.
He's 6'7".
Oh no, just oh boy, it was not good.
No, just get out
So I guess the main part of my weekend was spent with Black Annex. It's a
can you
Lance is from. Sorry, go.
Can you tell because we know a bit about it because you've been dealing with Lance for a while now, but for viewers and such, can you give us a little bit of what type of game it is and that sort of thing?
I can, absolutely. So Lance is from country Victoria. He's always loved really old games like the old Bullfrog titles, Syndicate, Theme Hospital, Theme Park, that sort of thing. When games were actually difficult and
the original Syndicate
interesting.
Was fucking amazing.
The original Syndicate was really, really amazing. So it's very much in that vein. Lance already knew how to code in QBasic and didn't want to spend 2 years learning how to code in C++ or whatever else, or Unity, or to build a game. So he built a game system in QBasic and then built a game into it.
QBasic, wow.
Yeah. So it's a really exciting little corporate espionage stealth action game. You have deceivers that you can use to hack servers to create distractions. You have enforcers that carry things like Gatling guns. You can go in and capture targets or capture certain assets or kill people.
It's
or
like Ops. You go in there and you steal dudes to add them to your army.
Huh.
Yeah.
I watched the gameplay video and it actually looks really fun, and I can't wait to get my hands on it.
Yeah, so have a look at blackannex.net and jump on stream. Yeah, blackannex.net and jump on Steam Greenlight.
I've already voted for it.
Vote yes.
Throw that out there.
So did I.
I'm for anything designed in QBasic. Holy shit!
Right,
and it looks fucking cool.
So the amount of times I've heard over the last 3 days that it's like a love letter to the games that I used to love from my childhood. Which for me it absolutely is. I was so excited to play test it earlier last week, and we'll continue to be excited. It looks like at the moment we're sort of a Q3 for us, just like March or May release. It's probably I guess a spring release over there, I guess, if it's done. Which is
well, yeah, all right.
Like I said, you let them know we want a review copy.
Right. I'll definitely talk to him. I'm going to see him at 4:00. I'm going to see him in 2 hours. So we've got more industry catch-ups to go and do. So yeah, it's been a crazy week. I got to go to some pretty cool parties. I had dinner with a lot of really cool people, indie devs and local journalists that are working full-time jobs whilst creating this amazing content, reviewing this amazing content. It's crazy how hard people work in the games industry here. It's really, really nuts. But super exciting.
Brian, we're totally
super
distracted
excited
by your sweet tattoo, by the way. Just close
The
to
sweet
your
Galaga
shoulder.
tattoo, yeah. Oh, he's got the double on this. That's sweet.
Yeah. So, all right, well, we're very jealous that you got to do the things that you did this week, and
there will be a PAX 2014, so we'll be doing it all again next year, which is really, really exciting, but a great time sad for the people that couldn't make it go, Brian.
Gemma, I'm really sorry to keep jumping in. I'm just
No, don't apologize. It's all good.
by finally getting to meet my friend John's fiance, as well as being Australian and stuff like that. There were previews for games, yeah.
There were previews for games coming out, so there were previews for things like Assassin's Creed,
Black Flag.
On an actual. I haven't talked about the expo.
Oh, sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Did you see anything? What's your best? What's the one you felt like this is going to be the shit? In America, the shit means good.
I put up a Facebook post last night about sort of summarizing everything that I'd seen. I'm really excited about a lot of indie titles that are coming out.
Sure.
I'm really excited about all the new Borderlands content. I'm less interested in the AAA stuff that's coming out. They did have
you are really excited
Watch
for
Dogs.
me about Lords of Shadow 2, though, right?
Yeah, I took a photo of the Lords of Shadow 2 thing for John, because I know he's obsessed with Castlevania. There was Total War Rome 2.
Total War.
Really?
Total War Room 2 is going to be the new thing, you think?
I think that's going to be pretty amazing. Watch Dogs on the PS4. They actually had a PS4. And was it Watch Dogs? We were talking about this last night, briefly.
Watch_dogs. Yeah.
Is that what it is?
That's awesome. I'll tell you about that in a second.
The new Assassin's Creed. So they actually had a sneaky PS4 there that was, being used to demo some of that stuff.
And they had that Expo in a box, right?
So yeah, the Microsoft actually came out. We were kind of surprised not to see more from Sony or more from Microsoft or from Ubisoft had a massive stand, but as far as the new consoles are concerned, Microsoft was a small booth with an Xbox One wallpapered wall with a plinth with a glass box in it.
Really?
And for 2 hours a day, there was an Xbox One in this glass box. You could it wasn't hooked up to anything. You could line up to see for 3 minutes at a time.
So they give you 3 minutes? You could get a good wank in 3 minutes.
You could see what it looked like? Is that what
you could see what it looked like on the outside.
Oh,
from a glass box, you could take a photo of it or take a photo with it.
Could you take a photo of it with your dick?
But they weren't streaming.
Yeah. Do you think
I know it was 3
doesn't do
people at a time. Yeah. That were allowed to be near the Xbox One.
That is insane to me.
That's dumb, but
really, really sad.
Well, I mean, maybe, if you fancy a wank, 3 minutes is enough time.
I suppose, yeah.
Fancy a wank. Look at you talking all British in front of your girl.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that in the middle of a packed expo hall, but,
You're right, it would be really mean to all the other guys.
There was a Skull Candy truck, there were Sennheiser guys, there were a whole lot of sound people. Turtle Beach actually supported Black Annex and gave them a couple of headsets. So thank you, Turtle Beach, for continuing to be amazing.
That's pretty cool.
And yeah, it was a crazy ride. I need a year to recover, but.
All right,
right on. Good.
Anything else?
We're pretty good. We're gonna move forward.
I got some pins. I'm not trading them. You can't have them. They're my pins.
I'll just steal them from you.
I want to hear about the pins, though. Is that a thing? Is it a culture?
Penny Arcade is a thing. You collect these little pins. I don't know if I have my lanyard within reach. I don't think I do. So little pins of Tycho and Gabe and stuff like that. And,
you trade them, and there's like a pin culture.
It's
a black market kind of deal.
A pin trading thing. I actually got an ad, a follow on a tweet from a girl in the States asking if I got the pins from Australia and if I would trade her for a complete set of East and West yesterday. Yeah, kind of freaks me out, but maybe. I'm not an eBay kind of person, so I kind of want to keep them. They're mine. I like remembering things. I didn't take a lot of photos. I didn't really get to see a whole lot. Thank you for linking the Penny Arcade thing, Lord Beavis. Yeah, it's a thing. I got pins. We ran out of Black Annex pins, so yeah, that's a thing.
Well, thank you for all
You're
of
welcome.
the field work. I'm glad that when we told you that we wanted you to go on location and file a report about PAX, that you were willing to do that for us.
Yeah.
A plus.
Good job as our field correspondent in the southern hemisphere. But we're gonna move over to Brian here.
Yeah, Brian, are you sober enough to talk about retro games?
Are you a bad enough dude to talk about retro games?
That was such a great segue. I kind of have to. That was well spoken, John. What do you? Yes, I'd love to.
I know that you and David talked at length at our show about some things that you guys wanted to talk about. I mean, I know that we talked only briefly.
I actually prepared.
I was drinking and doing things
Well,
that I
for
do.
Virtual Bromance, 2 top 5 lists.
2 top 5 lists.
Awesome.
That's pretty good.
Well, let's hear it.
I will present to you now my personal. Now, retro gaming is one of those things that people. It's
Hold
almost
on,
like
Brian. Before you continue, I want you to let everyone know how. First of all, retro gaming kind of ties into your gig, bro.
I do this band called Expiate. We're Italian.
Never says his own band.
Yeah.
I turn into this amazingly good-looking Italian dude.
And
On
you jump on
stage.
Goombas? Is that what you're saying?
Pardon?
You jump on things and flatten them?
No, that's Mario, dude. You didn't turn into Mario.
No,
You're just an
okay.
Italian guy. I don't fucking know.
No. My band is called Expiate. I have this side project no one's ever heard of called Angel Spit. Then I have this other side project called the Gothsicles. Most of my life has been spent writing songs tangentially related to video games. For no other reason than it's close to my heart and I like writing things that I know about.
And anybody in the chat who doesn't know should go on YouTube and search for the Gothsicles Save Dat Mermaid video, because it is probably one of the coolest videos ever made.
Well, you know what that guy does professionally?
What does he do?
The guy that made that video does commercials for Mentos.
Really?
That guy is like the fresh maker.
He is literally the fresh maker. He came up to me. We did a gig in New York City. It was the first Triton Festival.
Oh, Jesus.
And we're opening for Death Star Assembly, and Northbourne, like one of the dudes from Iconic Coils, opening for us. It's like this awesome gig, and then this dude comes up and he's like, "Hey, I do commercials. Here's my card. Let's make a video." And then I go on his website, and he's the fresh maker. So how am I gonna not? So does that answer your question, David?
Yes.
Herewith are my top
Right.
from 5th best to 1st best top 5 licensed Nintendo games.
The discussion that we had,
And this
we
is-
couldn't
this
come
is
up
what
with.
we talked about,
We
yeah.
could not come up with anything.
I
worth
amended
shit,
it a little
really.
bit.
There are a couple, but we're gonna go ahead.
5.
What I want you to do though is name the one and then tell us why.
All right. Number 5, Batman.
Which is one that I mentioned, right? The movie property one.
Yes. Yeah. I want to take it back 2 beats. The premise is that licensed games, classically in the 80s and early 90s, were horrible.
Yeah, well they still are.
Still are, yeah.
There are some great licensed games, but you have to classically kick them out to be current with whatever movie or TV show or comic book is going on.
Right.
Classically turned around very, very quickly, and so sometimes they're awful. But sometimes they're really great. So this Batman one was 1989, or 90, maybe, and it was for the first Batman movie, the Michael Keaton one.
Yeah.
And but they really put some thought into this game. There was a jumping mechanic invented in this game that they used
Which
for
we
many
talked
other
about.
games.
We
Yeah,
talked
right?
about.
It was fucking cool. You could switch weapons. It wasn't like they just phoned it in. Number 4. And this... I could switch places on these. Bucky O'Hare.
Oh, Captain Bucky O'Hare in the Toad Wars?
Dude, it
Love
was a
the
comic
fucking
book
cartoon, man.
to a TV
Love
show.
the fucking cartoon.
Yeah, it was a cartoon. A neighbor of mine worked on that comic book
That's fucking awesome.
in Tosa. It was crazy. And then it was like, because I was into it way before it was cool, I know. But but just because my fucking neighbor like gave me like this book, and it was like about a green rabbit and a 4-armed duck. I'm like,
Right, and in the show, what struck me, because I was a kid when it was airing, obviously, but what struck me about it was that like in the first episode, his like engineer guy, the gorilla guy, dies.
he
And
died.
then they bring in his
dies.
brother to like be on the crew and avenge him, which I mean for a kids show was just fucking hardcore.
Very much so, John. I agree. The video game classic, like a signature of these licensed games is to take the main character and just shove him through the game plot-wise. Bucky O'Hare, you could acquire characters if you beat them, take on their powers, switch between them. Really, somebody thought about this game. Number 3, DuckTales.
Fucking
Woo.
DuckTales.
Thank you, Gemma. Really well thought out game. Secret levels all over the place.
Yeah.
Many of the Capcom is in bed with Disney, or they were at that time, and so they had a lot of money behind it. But DuckTales was a very popular show. I loved it, and they probably could have like sold this, probably could have made DuckTales checkers or something.
Is there a point in the game where you get to swim in the money bin?
No.
What the fuck?
No,
You get to go to the Himalayas, though, I guess.
it's great. You could choose your levels, and it was like a Mega Man game. It was great.
Nice.
And they're remaking the DuckTales game.
No.
Yes.
Yes, we talked about that. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
we did.
Do you want to talk about that now?
No, because I don't really know a whole lot about it. I
We
just
just know
it's
that they're
happening.
doing it, right?
Well, DuckTales you could jump double. It was the advent of the double jump. It was
Yeah.
fucking DuckTales, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, some guys probably in the chat room going to throw me on this. But
Just like I kind of feel like the Batman game was the advent of the wall jump.
hell yeah, I did it. Number 2, barely a licensed game, but it was fantastic. Goonies 2.
Which is the Save That Mermaid game.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it was such a bizarre,
I never ever finished that game.
intricate, weird game based off a movie that you might have seen maybe if you were a Japanese kid, because it's a Japanese game that they translated, which is like why it's famous for like all those awful translated, like ouch, what do you do?
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
like Zero?
When you
kind of shit?
yeah, like when you hit a dude with the hammer, he's like, "Ouch! What did you do?" Or "What do you do?" I remember that. Yeah.
You know why?
Welcome to Die, David.
Yeah.
Welcome to Die.
Goonies 2, advent of, not advent of, but advancing the idea of a first-person shooter game.
Right.
Because
How
you
move
could go
through
into
the
rooms and walk around and stuff like that. You had Hunt the Wumpus and things like this on the 286, but the Nintendo really brought that all into people's homes because it was so popular.
Yeah, with things like sword and serpents and stuff like that. Yeah.
Good call, David. And here's my controversial number 1 licensed Nintendo game. G.I. Joe. Fucking amazing.
We
talked
talked
about
about that. Yeah. I rented that game several times.
And hearing you guys talk about it, I was
put your
pissed
party
that I never
together.
did.
They each had their strengths and abilities. You could take over enemy vehicles.
Right.
Check this out. I beat it twice, right? In the same go. I use the word "go" to like try to impress all Australian guests.
I know how he did it.
Same go.
He was spot
Like
on.
if you don't die and you make it all the way through, it actually says to you, the developer comes on and says, "I didn't think anybody could do this. I made this game really hard. I'm not making this up. Beat G.I. Joe 2 times in a row, and they say like get an emulator." And the developer says, "I made this game really hard, congratulations to you. Like, a lot of heart went into this game.
Nice.
So that's why it's my number.
All right. And you said you had 2 top 5s, correct?
Well, I got, I'll yap more, but I don't know if you want to hear my word, because I got the top 5 worst licensed games.
I totally want to hear that.
I know I've been talking for a long time, so I'll give you the top 5, just quick fire,
All right.
and then we can talk to somebody more interesting about maybe one of these. For me, 5th worst to worst.
All right.
RoboCop.
Oh,
RoboCop was really bad.
Wolverine. Nice.
Bart versus the World. Home Alone. X-Men.
X-Men
Dude,
is
oh,
number
gotta
1.
be.
It's got to be.
Seriously, the Home Alone game pissed me the fuck off.
He just walks.
You have to avoid bad guys for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
He's so angry he's on his feet.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I gotta pee.
That's lovely.
All right. When he gets back, we also have a top 5.
I realized just before I completely glossed over, there was a big top 10 that was full of people playing Xbox, PS3, other consoles, DSs, PSPs, and tabletop games and Magic the Gathering. And I actually got to meet one of my favorite YouTubers, who's Fresnet out of Melbourne, and picked up a tabletop card game while I was there. So that was another part of PAX that I totally glossed over. It was really, really cool. It's got only like this much time in that tent, so there are a lot of really awesome, really nerdy people up there.
I thought we were her favorite YouTubers.
Yeah, I thought we were your
And
favorite YouTuber.
yeah,
What's your
but
deal?
like Fresnet's been YouTubing for like 4 years, and
all right.
Tom.
There's Kelly.
Tom from Tom, who's Fresnet, actually sent me an email this morning from Cantrip Games confirming 2 copies of Story War. So got one for me and one for my awesome brother, who gifted me the other thing that I'm really excited about, which is the new Shadowrun game. Oh my god!
Right, which I mentioned because it's going to be fucking amazing.
Yeah. He was on the Kickstarter for it, and his girlfriend Z actually bought him a copy as well. So he gifted me a copy.
I believe,
on Steam, so yeah.
Nick in the chat was also in the Kickstarter for it.
GoBot, cool.
Yeah.
Let's take a moment. To talk
And if
about
we're
how awesome
kickstarting
this fucking-
Satellite
this
Rain,
layout is.
another very Syndicate
Show us
style
some
game on on Kickstarter right now. Go check it out. They're almost over the line. They've got 6 days. So Satellite Rain, everybody.
All right, cool. All right,
Brian.
so we
Yes,
also
Jim?
we have a top 5 that we're just going to throw out there and everybody can jump in. And it was just like a top 5 best retro games that don't have games still made for them. Like, you can't say Final Fantasy or Zelda because they're still making those games.
So these are abandonware.
Abandonware from the retro era.
Right. And the reason we chose it that way is because we know that, like, John wasn't really a big gamer back then, in the NES era, and possibly maybe Gemma wasn't. So we didn't want to exclude anybody from the top 5. So this top 5 is just like top 5 retro games that aren't getting sequels, or, you know, like you said, abandonware, that aren't getting sequels, that aren't getting reboots.
Cool.
Do you have any?
Oh wait, I thought you were going to present.
No. We're
thought you
just
had
throwing
a
this out here so that we can like brainstorm and get.
Oh, I suck. I thought you. I was all ramping up for your list.
No.
Okay, so
you don't
I would
understand.
like
we're
to
not.
see-
We're not professionals here. We just throw shit out there. And
What's the question?
We're doing
Things that should get reboots?
No. We've done that.
abandonware, like abandoned game properties that were the 5 best abandoned retro game properties. Games that don't get sequels anymore, that are not getting rebooted.
That nobody's working on anymore.
Yeah.
Epic Pinball, Jewel of the Jungle. I don't have 5. I'm going to start with
Amazing.
those.
Jungle of the Jungle is a good reference.
Hard Hat Mac.
Dude! Double good.
All right. So all right. That's 3.
Or Joust. I'm just kidding.
Joust.
I'm just kidding about Joust.
Come on I'm actually going to throw out a game that I was talking with some people on a chat room earlier about, and it was part of a trilogy, and it was a really fucking amazing game on the Super Nintendo. And I kind of wish that there could be like some kind of reboot or remake of it, but that's Illusion of Gaia is one of the coolest fucking games I've ever played.
That was a very strong game.
Yeah. And it was,
all of the LucasArts properties is the other thing I'll throw out there. Loom was really
was fucking cool.
holy crap. Loom, yeah. All those
This is going to be less than
Loom,
top 5 and more.
LOOM, Loom.
Yeah, where like you're a wizard and you.
Yeah, where you're like a wizard. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the old LucasArts properties that now they're owned by Disney are never going to get touched. It's some unfortunate loss of IP there.
Very good
Fucking
call.
Nick just threw out Rise of the Dragon, and I love that guy because I love
Yes.
Rise of the Dragon.
You know what I want? Way of the Warrior 2.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Jungle Hunt was a
Like,
fucking awesome.
It had
Pitfall in the chat. Lots of
what was
Pitfall.
that first White Zombie album? Like Devil Music, Sexorcisto or something?
Les Exorcisto, Devil Music.
Yeah, that was the
Volume
soundtrack
one.
of this fucking game on 3DO.
Nice.
And it was a fighting game, and it was awful, but I won a second one.
Fuck yeah.
That's mine. Or Oregon Trail.
Oregon Trail.
Well,
There's
there's an Oregon Trail.
There is Oregon Trail, the zombie remake of Oregon Trail.
I'm not cool, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
You should play Oregon Trail.
I like ice hockey, the Nintendo game.
Blades of Steel.
NHL 94.
Oh shit, okay. I'm gonna go...
Just start throwing them out there. We've actually turned this from a top 5 into just a
games
list.
before, though, right?
What's that?
You have done best sports games previously.
No, we haven't, because we don't play sports games.
They don't
but
play
that's one
sports
that we
games.
should do.
Baseball
I know.
Simulator 1000.
Well, here's sports
Base
games.
Wars. Base Wars.
Mutant League Football.
Dude!
All of the Mutant Leagues.
There are much of the last 3 Gothsicles songs were based off of Base Wars samples.
Because Base Wars is amazing.
Because it doesn't have it's a sports game, so it doesn't have like a background like da-na-na like kind of song going on.
Yeah,
It's just the sound of the bat or the ball or like when you get a home run or whatever.
right.
Base Wars. I'm gonna go ice hockey, Base Wars. Ice hockey's the shit. Base Wars. Number 3, Tecmo Bowl.
Dude, Tecmo Bowl. Oh my god.
Go ahead.
Continue. Someone in the chat just reminded me of another game I'd love to see.
What's that?
Wacky
Summer and
Races.
Winter Games, Jared. That's
What?
totally.
What?
That's what I was
Races?
just thinking about.
Yeah.
Actually,
Devil butt?
Yeah.
TNC Surf Design? What?
It's
We should hang out
Wait,
more,
wait.
Brian.
wait. If we're gonna say summer and winter games, can we also get a remake of California games? Because
Do California Games was the
because
shit.
the roller
I'm a fan.
skating was awesome.
This is the best night of my whole life. Like with the fucking with the juggling thing when you kick the hacky sack around.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got so good at surfing.
Surfing was
Shark
fucking
that comes up
awesome,
and
too.
dun 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 dun.
Dude, speaking of Jaws, Jaws was an awesome game. You remember that swimming around? You got to find all the conch
I
shells.
saved up my allowance for like 3 months to buy fucking that video game, and it was worth every penny.
Was
So
it like the
good.
precursor to
Fuck! I left that on my top 5
No.
licensed games.
Oh yeah, license. Yeah, that's true. No,
Okay,
you
Batman,
like
just
swam
like-
around and you had a harpoon gun and like.
Wait, oh, you were a diver. I
Yeah.
thought you were the shark swimming.
No, you had to fight Jaws.
Jared, no altered beast should not be in there. That's not even funny.
Yeah, we
That's not okay.
have
It
a
needs to
weird-
stay dead.
we have a weird relationship with Altered Beast around here.
Whoa, can I? There's a game that I remember that was from the Sega Master System that I only played it. A friend of mine had it when I was a kid. And I loved the shit out of it.
Streets of
It was
Rage.
called
It was even awesome.
Cyborg Hunter. That game was fucking
I
awesome.
have no. Wow, I have
Yeah.
no clue what you're talking about.
Yeah, that game was awesome.
People are talking about Skate or Die.
Skate or Die 2 is where it's at. Just saying.
Skate or Die
Yeah.
2 is shit. The the voice recognition on the NES version of Skate or Die, or not recognition, but the emulation of it.
The voice
Like
sounds,
the-
yeah.
Thank you, David.
You're welcome.
Revolutionary. Like, skate straight. Like
Yeah.
like
Alex
you
the
know, I
Kid.
think you and I kind of
Alex
grew up
the
in these
Kid.
like games where they can approximate but like in Skate or Die 2 they actually said words.
Right.
That was like I remember playing that game.
It was very staticky, though.
Pardon?
It was very staticky. Like
It wasn't though.
sounded-
That was the thing. They figured out the emulation. Like, okay, I'm gonna date myself a little bit,
I
but
date myself all
Quest
the
for
time.
Glory 4,
Wait, what?
Quest for Glory.
Oh.
No,
Look,
not Quest for Glory.
look.
King's Quest. King's
Okay,
Quest
King's
4.
Quest. You don't want to start me talking about Quest for Glory. We'll take all night.
Dude,
David's
Quest for
been
Glory.
on Quest for Glory for
Okay,
years.
we're all just gonna have the group sexes, but like,
Well, I think that if this is the group, Gemma's really winning out.
no, she's in
I think that,
Australia.
but
She
no,
doesn't have to deal
It's
with.
fucking cold, bro.
Sorry.
Earthworm Jim in the chat absolutely agreed. I just
that
saw
Sunderon. Good call, man.
sorry. Rowan, who made Towncraft, which was shown in the Indie Pavilion at PAX, actually went down to the Acme, the Australian, that thing. Look it up, Acme in Melbourne, and posted a photo of lemmings.
Oh man.
Wait,
Lemmings
are we doing
is
Lemmings?
shit.
No, but they've got all old consoles and things like that. I was down there with Lance 2 weeks ago, I think, and took him through, and we got really excited about some really old content. It was really cool. But yeah, Lemmings.
Word. I remember.
Not the weird 3D, 2D one. That was just
I
strange.
remember playing
Like-
Lemmings for the first time with a buddy of mine, and just when you could make all their bodies explode, just cackling, because I'd never seen that in a video game.
You know, speaking of Lemmings, do you
You're just making fun of me, Gemma?
No.
No,
did
Oh,
you guys
I
ever
played-
play like Goblins
texting.
on the PC? And like there was Goblins 1, 2, and 3, and
No.
the title just added more eyes to it.
That's
For like
pretty good.
Goblins 2 had 2 eyes. It was kind of like Lemmings, where you had to like direct your you had 3 different goblins, and each one could do a different thing, and you had to direct them through this thing. And it was kind of like Vikings. Did you ever play Vikings? On the
Vikings,
SNES?
yes.
I wish I didn't, because now I like you more. Do you want to see something cool? Sorry, now I'm drunk.
I do want to. That's fine.
What?
Do you know that Tea Crowd? That show?
Yeah.
Do you want to see what my girlfriend made for my birthday?
Yeah.
Yes. I also want another beer. Just throwing
You
that
know-
out there.
Is that the
It's a
internet?
box.
Wait, where's the... Yes.
That's the internet.
Is that the internet supposed to be hanging out on Big Ben?
Check it out.
That's pretty badass,
It's the
bro.
internet.
That's really
Don't
awesome.
drop it. Don't drop it
maybe
because
the
it'll kill the
internet.
show. Just throwing that out there.
It's on a delay, so I'm sorry. Yeah, but I got an internet.
Nice.
Don't lose that. Don't let anyone
Right.
steal it. And don't give it to the government.
Too late.
Word.
Right, because then we're gonna have a problem.
Right. If you give it to the government, then they're going to use it to like track everything that we say and we do.
Like they're not watching right now.
Oh wait, it's too late. They already do that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I stepped on your joke. I'm sorry, man.
Well, we're running on
Fumes.
an hour and 20
Wait.
minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I get into these like talking
No,
feuds.
go ahead, man.
But like, do we need to wrap it up?
Not necessarily. No.
Okay.
Go, Brian.
Because I'll just go. Like, I'm very excited to be on your show, and I put a lot of booze into my body. And I'm 140 fucking pounds, so like I'm, All right, cool. I just don't want to ruin your show.
No,
It's very important to me that you like me.
by all means,
That
bro.
came out on the internet. Holy shit.
I think it's really important that the internet knows that you and John weigh the same. That's important information, and you're both full of alcohol, so
This is only my
Third.
third beer.
Well, of course.
But yeah, I'm really glad that we had the both of you on the show today.
Can I talk about
You know, Brian, you know,
Yes?
you're a great friend and always a fun guy to talk to, especially about old school games, because I don't think there's anyone else that gets as excited as you do about that kind of stuff. Which I think means that, you know, we're going to have you on more frequently.
Dude, what are you doing next Sunday?
We're going to do the show. We'll have to find another guest, because this lady here, she's going to be small bossing or something.
What?
Small bossing.
What the fuck is small bossing?
That's what she does all the time.
All right. Cool.
I'm bossy. I do that.
But
so
Gemma, I'm
it's
really
2:30 in the
I'm really glad that
on
you
Monday.
took our advice and went to PAX for us and did some field work.
I'm kind of jealous that you got to go to PAX.
I know that. I know
That's
that
awesome.
You didn't really want to go.
I put into
but,
play that
you know,
shit a couple times, and then
You did that for us. I do want to say that, you know, this being our first episode on the blue leather love seat, we've got our new layout that we put together.
can we talk after the show?
Yeah.
Of course.
There's
What are we doing?
No,
I'm pointing at-
no more being
got
friends
this
after
very-
the show. This
oh,
is
All
it.
right.
It's very great
Let's do
sidebar
it
of
with shadows.
information here.
Let's do it with shadows. Oh, fuck. Right here. It does.
I don't
fuck
know
it.
what that is.
Fuck it.
What are you guys even doing? Brian wanted to talk about interesting things, so you guys are just like talking about shadows and doing some weird kind of interpretive dance.
No, it dawned on me that you guys are actually putting on a show, and we're not actually hanging out in real life. So I talk a lot when I get drunk.
We're totally hanging
know.
out in real life. This is happening. This is
So
as close as it gets. We're just sharing it with the internet
I'll
right now.
stop talking, but I would like to talk to you after the show.
That's cool. All right. Yes.
I want to bring up real quick
No
on the show, real quick. We talked about this in the preamble, but like,
We got a preamble?
We did have a preamble.
when we were all trying to figure it out. Okay, Avengers 2 is apparently going to be based on Age of Ultron.
Yes.
Not, but not based on. I don't think it's based on the most recent Ultron story, though. I think that they're calling it Age of
right.
Ultron for the tie-in, but I think that it's more of an origin story.
I hope right.
But as when we talked about this earlier, Brian, I'm going to go to the other thing that I had said at that time, which was, fuck all of that shit. That's really great that Joss Whedon showed up like on his own and was like, hey, what's up? The Captain America Winter Soldier movie looks so fucking amazing. The cast, the fact that they have made it very publicly stated that their goal is to almost exactly stick to the Ed Brubaker source material, and which is why they're not even trying to have it be like a big plot twist that Bucky is the Winter Soldier, because they're like, look, this is all very public knowledge. This all happened years ago in the comics. We want you to, as the viewers, see Cap's reaction. You want him to be shocked and surprised by it, and enjoy that. And so that looks fantastic. And Brian, I know that you're a Guardians of the Galaxy fan.
To the day I desire.
And I watched that panel, and I saw that cast that they brought out for Guardians of the Galaxy.
You may see my laptop slightly lift up. That's my penis.
Nice. And I saw Karen Gillan pull off her wig and show that she has bicked her fucking head.
Yeah.
Is she Moonstone?
She's, what's her fucking name? Something with a U.
You just reminded me of something else really amazing
that's
that
her
happened in the...
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm really...
No. No, stop apologizing.
Nebula,
Americans
maybe?
apologize
Nebula?
too much.
Yeah, Nebula.
Fuck off.
Something else really amazing that happened in the Gearbox panel was the girl who they used as the real life model to do all the video and stuff for Borderlands as Lilith.
Lilith.
As
okay.
Lilith is actually an Australian cosplayer, and she was there. She was sitting like a meter from me.
That's like when the model that was the character model for Samara for Mass Effect 2 and 3 cosplays as Samara at fucking conventions in California.
No.
Yeah, and she looks fucking awesome.
Does anybody say you don't look anything like her?
Probably.
Has she
She
ever
was
been to a
cosplaying as
contest
something
and
else.
Probably. Well, that's like Lewis Black auditioning for a part to play a character on a sitcom that was written based on him, and they went with somebody else because apparently
Lewis Black doesn't play Lewis Black.
There's a better him somewhere out there.
Is that like John Barrowman auditioning to be Will and Grace, and John Barrowman being Captain Jack, who is and John Barrowman being a stand-up gay dude, and then giving it to the other guy who's actually a straight guy because John Barrowman wasn't gay enough.
He wasn't gay enough.
So I had some Torchwood time with Nick after I got home last night. It was really good.
Look, I had some fucking Pacific Rim time on Friday. And
I want to see it so bad. I haven't had time.
Are we recording?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are still recording.
Why were you gonna whip your?
Brian
dick
really
out or
wants the
something?
stream to be over so we can.
No, I don't wanna take up your time, Miss Hall.
No,
we can run as long as we want. We don't have a network that we work for.
Look, Brian, hold on. Here's the deal. What we do is we shoot for an hour every week. We have never, ever, ever been able to stop.
We could have had an hour last week, but David's a dick, and he dragged it out and asked me all kinds of questions to keep it going because he wanted to have more than an hour.
Yep.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I just don't want to be unprofessional as well, but I'm really curious about what you thought of.
We've sidetracked so far out of what we were talking about.
I don't even remember.
I'm going to go back to what I was saying. The Guardians of the Galaxy cast. Karen Gillan, Amy Pond, bicked her fucking head. She's bald. She actually shaved her head to play Nebula.
Yeah, Amy Pond is in...
She's Nebula in Guardians of the Galaxy. She actually shaved her head.
For the record, we have broken Brian.
We broke Brian.
Yeah.
Brian is done. Come back next week for more Brian.
Yeah.
Well. Hey, Internet.
You need a Heimlich?
Just, I thought the drawing of Nebula was hot when I was 13.
And now you think that Amy Pond
And now
is
it's
hot?
Amy Pond as Nebula? Do you have...
A link just got posted in the chat for you,
I haven't
Brian.
seen it. I'm watching the Skype now.
So, Brian, if you haven't seen the cast list, it's Chris Pratt as Star-Lord, Zoe Saldana as Gamora, Karen Gillan as Nebula, Lee Pace as Ronan the Accuser, Michael Rooker as Yondu, Benicio del Toro as the Collector, John
Oh, that
C.
was her
Reilly.
with the shaved head.
Huh?
I'm sorry, I'm talking over you.
Okay. John C. Reilly as Roman Day, Batista of WWE
John C. Reilly?
Yeah. Bautista.
as Drax the Destroyer.
That's my boy.
And then Glenn Close is in here. There's a bunch of people who don't have characters linked to them.
Sure.
They don't have Jiman Hasu is in the cast as well, but they don't have him on here.
Randy Pitchford is in Canberra right now. He's here with his family. His son was throwing out a lot of... Randy Pitchford.
Oh.
He's in Canberra right now. It's a little bit weird.
Why not?
Go let him know we called him out.
Canberra.
You let him know that we are the ultimate badasses.
The
state of the badass art.
That's right.
Well, you have to stay in the badass art. If any comic book people are listening, I have to stress that they are setting up for the movie, but the current run of Guardians of the Galaxy is...
With Angela from Spawn?
Is that who's doing the art?
No, the character from Spawn. They brought Angela, who was a Neil Gaiman character that was...
Shit, I haven't read that episode!
Fuck, I'm sorry, man.
They teased it in 5. I haven't got to 6 yet.
Sorry, man.
No worries.
I thought you were current, man. It was last month.
I tried to, but...
Yeah, Neil Gaiman, look,
the shop...
for people that don't know, Angela was a character that was created for the original Spawn series, and I believe that she was introduced in, issue 9. It's an issue of Spawn that I have. I was never really a Spawn fan, but
I got
You had
there.
Todd
still
McFarlane,
wonderful.
who was a dick.
I'm
bag.
drunk. Sorry.
Todd McFarlane's always been a dickbag. He's a giant douche.
Are you going to call
You
out
douchebag?
him now too?
I don't need to.
Are you just going to start a fight with
Yeah.
everyone?
Yeah, Todd McFarlane is a total dickbag.
He started a fight with Shinji Mikami last night. The guy who created Resident Evil.
Is it Nick Butt? You're talking about Spawn?
Yeah, I'm talking about Spawn.
Well, Nick
But
Butt
Venpig is Nick.
also talking about
Um,
Spawn.
Yes.
He must be talking
Go
about
Butt.
Spawn, yeah. Or he's talking about Guardians of the Galaxy.
No.
Yeah.
Who
Okay.
knows?
Sorry.
Who even
Anyway,
knows anymore?
So, what went down is that, Todd McFarlane being a dickbag was a dickbag. It didn't pay Neil Gaiman, his royalty shares for the use of his characters. So a lawsuit occurred, and that lawsuit took place in Wisconsin because at the time Neil Gaiman was living in the North Woods. So in Madison, they went through this very,
Yes.
very big lawsuit, and Todd McFarlane fucking lost hard. Because he's a dickbag, and dickbags lose. That's just the way it goes. And in losing this, he had to pay some disgusting sum of money to Neil Gaiman, and was never allowed to reference any of those characters that were co-created by them ever again in any of his books. And the copyrights to those characters defaulted to Neil Gaiman. So that was late 90s, I think. Late 90s, it was late 90s that was going on. And at that point, no one heard anything about Angela, the character, ever since. She was gone. Because Neil wasn't doing any comics, so he had really no use for it. And so she had, vanished into the ether forever. And apparently, as the biggest, dick-waving fuck you that you could ever issue to a guy that left Marvel to start his own company, Neil Gaiman walked over to Marvel and said, "Hey, I got this character. I think that you could do well with her. Why don't I sell her to you?"
Wow.
And he sold the rights to the character to Marvel, and they and they kept it heavily under wraps. They even did a black bagged fucking sealed issue for her reveal for Guardians of the Galaxy. So none of the promo said that she was going to be in it. None of the listings for future books over the next couple of months were showing anything about her. And when you open that black bag, whatever it was, last month or the month before, it was her on the cover, and she's officially part of the cast now.
Wow. So they're, in your opinion, does that mean they're busting out the big guns for this upcoming Guardians of the Galaxy movie?
I absolutely think that the move to put Angela into Guardians of the Galaxy is absolutely to bring more attention to the book, to help bolster support for the movie.
Interesting.
I thought it was a really odd choice to do a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Rocket Raccoon's badass and whatever, but I thought it was such a weird title. It wasn't by any means an A-list title, so I thought doing a movie would be an odd choice. But now that they've got a really great cast, and now they're really getting fan support with the book, I think it has the potential to do well. Look, let's be honest with ourselves. We can compare this to comic book movies across the board, and it'll never be as shitty as the Green Lantern movie. It'll never be as shitty as X-Men Origins Wolverine. It'll never be as shitty as... Fuck, man, I could just keep going. Pretty much every fucking DC title except for, Batman. There obviously there have been missteps with superhero movies, but I think they're getting the right treatment now. And even a weird title like Watchmen was not that terrible, Josh.
Loved Watchmen.
Watchmen was pretty alright.
Yeah, I think these movies
dog on screen.
Right, these movies are getting a better treatment than they ever would have gotten in the past. So the only frustrating thing for me is that somehow the X-Men film properties are owned by a different studio than all of the other Marvel movies, so you never get a tie-in. They've said that Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch are going to show up in Avengers 2,
What?
But they're also going to be but in there, I think they're also going to appear in the next X-Men movie, but they're going to be played by different actors. And in the Avengers, they never refer to them as mutants, and there is no connection to Magneto because they're considered mutant characters, which means they're under X-Men properties. So the other studio that, 20th Century Fox that owns the X-Men movies, they could sue if they linked them to a character from those movies.
My girlfriend would know, but she got tired of listening to me talk and left.
We saw that.
Really?
Yeah.
I was in the bathroom.
Yes.
That wasn't fun. Sorry.
We should probably wrap up.
This
is probably the longest show, other than the E3 show we did. That we have.
But I'm going to say again, I really appreciate that the both of you came on. I think it's a really great show. For our first show with the new layout and
the new HQ,
yeah, the romantic hideaway, as we're calling it. All these things really playing in together. I think we're going to wrap up, and I think I'm going to make David play Colonial Marines with me.
You do that.
First?
I'm going to interject. Gemma, we've been friends on Facebook for 2 years or something like that. It's very cool to actually be able to converse with you. And John and David, thank you very much for having me on your show. I would kill to do this again if you would ever want to have a ramble.
Well, we just might make you do that.
Make you kill. We
Yes.
may make you kill.
Okay, well, I probably got you 1,000 new fans tonight because, I am in Causticles.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
But
we were kind of banking
that's
on
the end
it.
of my
Gemma, do you
show.
have any closing remarks?
Same to you, Brian. You're obviously really tight with my dude John, and it's been real to actually get to have a little FaceTime with you. And thank you to John and David for letting me babble about PAX Australia. It was really new, really different experience. So the closing word of advice would be, if you're going to read any news about it, go to the freelance journalists, go to Games on Net, go to things like that. Don't read the main news sites, because those guys were the really boring suits, really boring media. Go to the smaller guys, because they're much more accurate, and they actually care about video games.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Which,
actually really good
That's
advice.
why we're here.
So, I mean, Steven
it's been real.
Pastic and I talked about kind of something about that in one of the 365 videos, where everybody always assumes people are paid off to give certain reviews, and you look at the little guys, and I'm not necessarily saying that happens, but if you look at the little guys, they're not getting paid off. They're actually giving you, their real opinion. So
Right.
It's good that you threw that out there. So
Cool.
So you can look at the bottom right corner of the screen there. We've got our Facebook page. We've got our YouTube page. We've got our Twitter thing. We've also got the AmPsych Facebook page there because,
Ooh.
especially tonight, we've got 3/4 of the band.
Right.
And
Big ups to Dan Clark.
yeah, Dan
Yeah,
Clark is
Dan
the guy.
Clark.
Always the
Love
guy.
you, Dan.
But getting Dan on the show is very unlikely unless we get him to do a segment talking about D&D.
We probably
Pathfinder.
could. And I bet him and Nick would just fucking nerd out about it. It'd be great.
Is
So yeah, well, that's your stuff. Subscribe, like, share, whatever you need to do.
Play games with us, send us messages, tell us we suck, whatever.
If you know Randy Pitchford, you let him know that I'm coming for him.
Can we stay on for after this?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, we'll talk
and-
after that.
I'm
In any
I'm
case-
Folterte on Steam, and Urban Neurosis on Twitter, and Folterte on Facebook. So
And
hunt me down.
Cleanly Beef 7 on Xbox Live.
That's right, Cleanly Beef 7.
No, she's
just
not actually Cleanly Beef 7.
just
You're
Folterte on PS,
My name is
on PSN and Xbox.
My name is Brian Graupner. My phone number is 414.
Stop.
I don't care. 414, because I'm still in Milwaukee. 414
He's going to do it anyway.
559
I'm going to have
Whose number is that he's giving us?
73.
as long as it's not
That's
mine.
my.
3873.
I don't get phone calls. I'm lonely.
You've got an iPhone,
You're
so I
looking
can
to see
text
if-
you for free
Okay,
with iMessage.
Look, John, do you have anything to say
Like,
to our viewers
call me.
before we-
Here's my phone. Call me.
No, he's
It's got
not
a
even
Moon
joking,
Knight
yeah.
case. I like Moon Knight.
Look, as in closing words here, great turnout on the show tonight. You know, we do this for you guys, so you know. Well, all right, I'm lying. We do this for
Thanks,
us.
Sunderan.
And,
We do it for us.
We do it for us.
We just
And
kind of
wanna-
hope that you like
we
it
want to
too.
share it with you. And if we're gonna play some games, maybe we'll do some streaming of it. Who knows? But the point is that we moved to Sunday nights because we wanted to really be accommodating of people. I'm sorry that in the beginning there were some hiccups where my children were screaming in the next room. They do that sometimes. So as a whole, I had a really good time on the show tonight. I think having these two on was a really good move.
Yeah.
I don't know that Gemma girl though. She's a little bit mean sometimes. I don't know if I can handle her.
I definitely wouldn't engage her.
Oh.
That's good.
All right,
That's good.
and as for me, in closing, I just want to say, later, bitches.